Hi, thanks for joining me. My name is Melissa Mueller-Shanahan, and I am going to be sharing with you about social justice projects that build over time. This was presented on February 1st, 2021 as part of the International's Network for Public Schools Fall Professional Development Conference. Everything that you will need for this workshop is found in the slideshow and also in the agenda. So I will be moving back and forth between those two documents. The driving question for this workshop was, how can we create a progressive and cumulative curriculum that builds on personal identity, encourages community outreach, and fosters social change? So we were really looking at building projects that students can work on for a durational project lasting several weeks over the months, really threaded throughout the year by taking the required texts and content and creating projects that align and help support those key skills, ideas, and concepts and allow students to engage in it in an authentic way and display that knowledge in some public product. Next, we went to the agenda, and so I'll pull that up now. All the documents that you need for this workshop are included in this agenda here. So you would take some time to look over the overarching concepts and also the goals and objectives for what participants will be able to do by the end of the conference. The first activity that we shared together was a timeline Padlet. This was to introduce the participants to the timeline feature on Padlet and a way to get to know each other. So feel free to add to this. We talked about a time in our teaching career, a pivotal moment for us. So something that changed your approach to teaching, influenced the teacher that you are today. So I will share yours. I'll share mine with you. In 2007, I was part of a professional development out of the University at Buffalo called City Voices, City Visions, where they trained students and teachers in the art of digital video. And it was really my first delving into long-term public-based learning, project-based learning, and it was really life-changing for me. So if your pivotal moment happened prior to 2007, you would add your moment here. And if your moment happened after, you would find on your timeline where your date fell and add that in with the plus sign here. So feel free to join our collective pivotal moments in teaching history. The next activity was to read an article about project-based learning. So if you're doing this alone, you could, and you're familiar with project-based learning, you can just skim through this. If you are new to project-based learning, then you want to take a deeper look. If you are doing it with a department or a committee, then you would jigsaw this out by each person or each group taking one of the 7 elements of project-based learning and then sharing out the most salient details. And the article can be found right here. Next, we did some planning and thinking about a unit that we were currently working on developing, or one that we wanted to expand. And so we opened the Padlet here, and there are a number of categories, but the first one we filled out is just the required text, skill, or language that we are required to teach. So if you want to do this on a separate sheet of paper or whatever template that you use to plan on, you would start by thinking about what is that text, what is the concept, what is the skill, what is the language function that you are looking to instruct. After that, we explored projects that build over time. And so if you click on the document here, you will see a project map that links 3 units of study together. So take some time to look at how Unit 1, Unit 2, and Unit 3 build on the unit prior. Take a look at the driving questions, the language objectives, how it is relevant to students' lives, the public product that comes out of the 3 units tied together, the collaborative component, student voice. So take some time, and here are the 3 portfolio project choices the students have to choose from. So this document, the participants looked at, if you're doing it in the team, you can have one group look at Unit 1, one group look at Unit 2, and one group look at Unit 3, and talk about and discuss how they build over time, and then glows and grows. Next, the participants went back to the Padlet and got to think about how they could relate this content or unit to students' life. How can they connect an authentic student project? How can they build bridges between the content and skills and concepts that came before, and how can this work that they are doing build on to the product after? So that it's not a one and done sort of unit, but the students' work is their scholarship that is building over time and is applicable to the next step. And they can see that their work has life beyond just finishing for a unit, but it's building on something that's going to become larger. If you are doing this as a group, after you do the planning in the Padlet or on your separate sheet of paper, you can work through the peer consultancy protocol. This is found on this link here. And each participant would have allotted time to talk about, to share what they're thinking about, how to make their content more relevant, how to build on pre-existing skills and strategies, how to take this and build onto a larger student public product. And then they can also pose a question to their listening triad to get some feedback on their thoughts. And so if you are doing it in your department or with a committee, then you would be able to use this protocol here and be able to have some time to share and talk about your ideas. So that's really ideal, as we know. Lastly, you are provided with a template where you can plan your unit if that is something that is useful to you. If you have another tool that you prefer to use, of course, please go ahead and use it. But after thinking through the student relevancy, student voice and choice, public product, building on previous skills, then you might want to start fleshing this out into your project-based unit document. The last thing I wanted to share with you is that there is another article that has more information about public product, just more ideas about how to incorporate the public aspect, how to bring this work out of the classroom, how to have students be able to showcase what they have created with an authentic audience. So if you can't remember what you're supposed to do with the materials in the agenda, the instructions for all of the documents are also found in the slideshow. So for example, when you're first going to your project-based unit planning Padlet, it will tell you here, please comment on the required content text, concept, skill, or language category, and comment on others if you are doing it in a workshop and you want to create another Padlet like this for that experience. So thank you for joining us today, or thank you for your interest in long-term projects that build over time. Social justice is the work that we do, education for critical thinking, for autonomy and self-direction. So I really would love to hear some of the projects that you are working on and doing. So if you do you have any questions, or you would like to share what you are working on? I'm sorry, I thought I had my email address up here, but I can have my email address provided for you. Thank you so much for your time, and I hope your projects turn out beautifully.